There you go. So, hello. As you can see, I'm fully prepared and everything seems to be working, we hope. At the very least, hopefully now you can hear me talk, which should be a step forward, and not hear me type quite so much. So, what we're going on at the moment is I've got this little C# microservice. It doesn't actually do anything yet, just connects itself to Rabbit and has a health endpoint. So we've got progress from yesterday. But now it's going to end up getting deployed to Kubernetes. But so is a whole bunch of its sibling microservices. And basically, what I want to look into is the .NET Core way of making a template. So I'm going to take what I've got so far, which is roughly what I want as the base properties that all of the microservices will have. Nearly all of them will have a health endpoint, and they'll talk to RabbitMQ. And I'm going to try and create a template from it. So let's see how this goes. It should be interesting. So there'll be lots of me staring at web pages you can't see easily as I read documentation on making templates out of things in .NET Core. But hey ho, we'll see how things go. If things get too boring, I might even start creating a view that allows you to see a web page. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start basically because I want this template to be version controlled with the solution it's going to sit in, because this is what new people coming into the project are going to want to use to create their own projects and things. So I'm going to basically start off with the simplest possible thing I can, and then I'm going to try and start substituting values in. So let's see where we get with that. So first things first, I think what I need is I actually need a new directory which I'm going to keep my templates in. Let me just make sure I can at least occasionally see the chat as well, just in case if you do actually decide to watch along and join in. So I'm going to have a new directory for the templates. Yeah, let's put that in there. And then let's copy across my one example service that I have at the moment. Let's do a recursive copy. So, and I'm going to copy that across to templates, and I'm going to call it C# template because basically I'm going to have C# and an F# template for these things. So I now go into templates. I now have my C# template. If I go to C# template, I've got all the things that I had there. Cool. So now I go back and have a look. I've got someone in the chat. Hello. I can even say hi back in the chat. There we go. So let's now go back to this web page and have a look at how I actually do this, because I know that in theory I can create a template from a project. So let's see what happens. So it tells me on, let me create a new window over here. We can go, let's have a scratch buffer. So I'm on this this web page here. Let's create custom template documentation from Microsoft. It tells me to create a folder at the root of the project named .template.config and create template.json file in it to set our thing up. Okay, so let's go with that. I can close some of these. I don't need that one. Don't need that one at the moment. So templates, C# template. Right, so apparently I create this thing called, it's called .template.config, Then I create template.json. Want to create the directory? Yes, I do. I have a file, and apparently I put in something that looks like this. Okay. So presumably I want the schema to be what it is. There is going to be me. No idea what classifications are. Common console. Will be a console app, but microservice. So identity. Let's go. .c#. Service. .c#. Let's just not do that. That's silly. Let's call it maven.microservice to C#, and then let's call it Maven CS for Maven. MAVNN C#. There you go. That's should be good. So, and the name. Maven C# service template. Okay, we're sounding good so far. Now, I've got two options on how I distribute this. I don't want a NuGet distribution because the idea of this one is not that it's going to get published off to some feed somewhere, but I want a file service distribution. So the idea is that it will actually be stored as part of the Git repository that these microservices are stored in, and we will actually have a little script at the root to go off and create things. So to distribute the template, place the project template folder in a location accessible to users on your network. That's fine, they'll use Git to get it. Use the .NET new command with .NET -i or --" install. Specify the path to the template folder. Okay, so that's straightforward enough. So apparently I go .NET -i. No, let's not do it from that directory. It's just to check things work. So I'm going to have a script that's running from this root. So I'm going to go .NET -i templates C# template. What does it actually install? Is it that one or is it the JSON? It's just that apparently. No, that didn't work. Sorry, it's not .NET -i, it's .NET U -i. Okay, cool. Well, there we have my Maven C# microservices template installed, apparently. Great. So a script that just kind of reinstalls the newest version of that every time you want to create a new thing. That looks distinctly doable. So, and now if I do .NET new, so Maven CS, and I want to put it in services / my test service. And wow, so services my test service. Good stuff. I have a whole bunch of things. Now, the good thing here is that there's not much else to check at this point because I haven't tried to do anything at all in terms of having parameters or anything like that. Whereas actually I do want some, because obviously I want people to be able to pick a service name, and then I actually want to put that service name to the code in a few places. So let's see, work out how to do that. That could be interesting. So my test service. So we have custom template. We can also uninstall the template, but it's not that much fun. There's the .NET template in GitHub repo. So how to create templates. So I'm now it's just okay. So now we're off somewhere else. Let's have current location or something. So if you guys want to follow along at all, I'm on this now on the custom templates documentation. Let's see what we can do with that. The identity, we can have classification, we can have short names. Okay. .NET template samples repo. That sounds good. Add parameters. Okay, let's have a look. So see what's going. So we're off to somewhere new again. We're chasing the documentation. We're over here now. Have a look at the add parameters example. My project. So source name. So I've got a few new things to play with here. Let me see kind of things we've got. Let's add those afterwards. We need source name. Don't think we need source name. We do prefer the name directory. Now apparently I can now have these symbols where I replace things. So saying that hello world replaces so does that mean in my program.cs in that example project it has hello world? Yes, it does. Okay. So these things that it's claiming to be able to replace, they are just literal strings. There's no kind of tag wrappers or anything, which is interesting. So I'm not quite sure if that's the way to do it. I'm also going to want to change the project file name. So that could be rather interesting. Well, given I'm not quite sure how to do that, I'm hoping that prefer name directory thing will help there. I also think, looking at this example, that I actually need to add a type to my JSON schema to say that project. So given the example C# project, we should be able to just rip that off. So knows if I need this or not, but let's not. They seem worthwhile things to have regardless. Okay, so I obviously don't want to replace Contuso with John Smith. What kind of things do I want to replace? Let's have a look. So in here we should have, so let's have a look at the template, see what's in there. So I may end up having to put some fairly unique strings in just to make everything work. So let's see what happens. I've got template repository in there. Let's see if I can just replace that. Just need to answer a message as well. So let's have a look. The main thing I want to replace is I want to replace the namespace and the service name. So let's start with just that. I'm going to take out that for the moment. I'm just going to have this one thing. So the default value, things I don't really want to default value. How to create a, I don't know how to, whether it will insist on something if I'm going to take that out and see if it wants me to give something. I'm not going to call it copyright name. I'm going to project name. At some point I'll want to pick out whether that can be set from the directory name, but and it replaces template repository because that's the first one that I started doing. Let's look, see what I can make this do then. So I presumably need to reinstall that template because I've changed it. Oh, did that from the wrong directory. Okay, we're kind of good so far. So if I do .NET New Maven CS -o services test service project name test service, says that that was created successfully, so that's nice to know. Services, my test service program, and here we have namespace my test service, string my test service. That's looking good. Cool. And but I still got the project name and a few other things to sort out. Okay. So that's basically what I wanted to get starting with. And gives me something to be going with. Let's just see if we can sort out the file names. Maybe there's an example .NET template samples for that as well. Let's have a look. What I might do is I might pull this into a new window and see if I can share it with you guys. Just see what happens. This is what you get for following someone. So we're going to add a to the .NET samples window. Box.NET samples. This one. Okay. Bang. Oh, that was not quite what I meant to do, but there you go. let's get rid of that again then. That's not going to work in the short term. Never mind, you just have to believe me what I'm doing with that. Okay, so anyway, in that .NET samples, let's go there. And have a look around. Option pays, parameters from list, multi-project, console sharp. Change string casing, random numbers, computer symbol package. Da-da. So if I look at the multi-project example, just a minute, is that what that source name thing is? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So if I go in here and I go source name, that's template repository. Does it as if by magic? No, that's a thing that now needs replacing. So let's remove services, mark test service. .NET new the template to install it. I'm going to try this without the parameter first, which I think should blow up because I haven't provided a default value. I'm hoping it blows up. No, it doesn't, so we'll need to do something about that. Okay. And let's let's remove that. Let's do that with the project name because I want to see both. Now this file is not the same file it used to be, so hopefully that will notice things in a moment. But let's check in that directory. Yes, my project file is now called mytestservice.csproj. Good stuff. So that's excellent. And in fact, I think that is pretty much all I wanted to try out at this point, apart from the fact that I wanted to try out my new mic setup as well. So thanks to all three of you who tuned in to this exciting episode of Michael Tests his mic and fiddles with config files. And hopefully at some point soon, I will manage to do something slightly more interesting. So have fun, everybody, and see you around.